everyone, it's Emily here. It is April 20 something. It is Sunday morning, and I just realized that I haven't put together a reading wrap up for this week yet. I was going to do it yesterday, and then I forgot, but it was because I was reading, so I feel like it's okay. But anyway, I completed over the last week and few days, I've completed 2 books, and I'm starting a third one today. And because it's Sunday, I don't feel like doing my whole setup. And so you're getting a no makeup and just quick iPad video. So the first book that I read, completed this week was Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in his Mistborn series. I was kind of nervous going into it because I've been listening to his podcasts that Brandon Sanderson hosts along with Mary Robinette Kowal, Howard, I can't remember Howard's last name right now, Dan Wells, and Mary Robinette Kowal. And I love it. It's a really, really great podcast, but I realized I had never read any of their books, so I've been trying to read all of the host books. I've read one by Mary Robinette Kowal, and it was really good. So now reading Brandon Sanderson's, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if I don't like his writing style? Yeah, when you listen to a writing podcast and then you read an author's writing and they don't follow their own writing advice or the writing advice of the other podcast hosts, it's really frustrating. Yeah. Because, okay, so there were things that I enjoyed about it. Like, he is awesome at world building. Like, he made this really, really great world that's super fascinating. His magic system is incredible. Like, a really, really awesome magic system, and he's really good at explaining the magic system and going into it. The concept is really awesome because I like how it was like this epic high fantasy thing, but it was also kind of a heist because it's about this guy who puts together this crew of thieves to try and overtake the government, but they're gonna do it the way you would, like, a crime job, and so, like, that's really cool. And the ending was really good. I really enjoyed the ending, and, you know, the way he brought things together, and he's really good at action scenes, and all of those things. So there's definitely things that were really good about this book. There were also some things that were not so good about this book. So the main character is Vin, and she's a 16-year-old girl, which is super cool, but she's also kind of like your typical, like, strong female lead, where she has, like, all these trust issues, and then, of course, she's, of course, a super special snowflake with magic powers. That's better than everybody else's magic powers, which is fine, except she was literally, like, the only female in the whole story. There was one other one who had, like, slight significance to the story, but not really. And while the world building and the magic system are really, really cool, this book basically is a study of the world and the magic system, and, like, with, like, a sprinkling of a story to go along with it. Which is one of the most frustrating things, because in the writing podcast, they specifically have had episodes about, hey, don't do that. And so it was really, really frustrating. And, like, I mean, the way he was describing all these things was really interesting. And so I was able to, you know, keep reading and keep going because I found it interesting. But I was also like, oh, hey, I'm ready for a story now. Yeah, so I'm giving this book 3 stars. I almost gave it 3.5 stars. But when I was really thinking about it, like, I still was really frustrated with a lot of the problematic elements. Like, I'm still going to keep going. I'm going to read the next book. And I've heard it does get a little bit better in the next book. But I'm also just kind of like, hey, why couldn't you have not had these problems in this one? But then things got better for me because yesterday, after I finished reading Mistborn, I picked up The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. Now, if you've been around this channel for the past year, you know I'm a really big Becky Albertalli fan. I might have read Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda 4 times last year. Yeah, that's right, 4 times. Holy cow, this book did not disappoint at all. Like, I knew I was gonna love it, but I didn't know I was gonna love it as much as I did. So it's about this girl Molly, and she has had like 26 crushes, but she's never acted on them. And her sister is like, hey, you need to start acting on them, and she tries to like set her up with her new girlfriend's best friend Will. But she is really scared to, and guys, like, this was just so relatable because, like, I might have cried a couple times reading this book because I could totally connect with Molly and her insecurities about dating and relationships, because I too, when I was in high school, like, I didn't date because I would always just have like a million crushes and like just totally fall head over heels for a guy, but then I would never do anything about it. And guess what? I still do the same thing. Like, here I am as an adult, and like, I'm reading this and I'm like, yeah, Molly, I still don't have it figured out. Like, I get this. I feel this so hard. And then, like, her body image issues. So, Molly is overweight. She, flat out says, she's like, hey, I'm fat. And that plays a lot into it. And while I can't relate to that specifically, like, I definitely get the whole, like, well, guys aren't gonna like a girl like me because I'm not your stereotypical pretty girl. Um, just because of the whole, vertically challenged and breakable bones things and how it makes my body look weird. And so I totally, like, understood where she was coming from to a certain extent when it came to that. And it was just so relatable and so awesome. But it was also really adorable, like, totally shippable couples. And I love the family dynamics in the story because it's also, like, kind of, like, talking about her relationship with her sister and her relationship with her moms and with her grandmother. And so I loved seeing all those family dynamics, and I loved seeing all the friendship dynamics, and kind of like some like that typical high school drama that you kind of go through with relationships and friends and things changing and dealing with things changing. And it was just so good, and I gave it 5 stars. And it's amazing. And this is I'll probably just reread it. And I also might have squealed like a crazy fangirl every time Abby or Simon or Nick would mention. I was like, oh, my babies are there. And so this is just a companion novel, so you don't have to read Simon first to read this one. I think it does a really good job of keeping it pretty spoiler free for Simon. It's like kind of like a minor spoiler for like side characters, but not really for like the main character. They do a really good job of like being like not sharing all that. So yeah, 5 stars, yay. And then I haven't started it yet, but today I am planning to start Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis. This is the first in a fantasy duology and her first fantasy book. I read a couple of Mindy's other books, and they've always been really, really good, and so I was really, really excited to get my hands on this one. And basically it's about this girl where I think like there's something going on with her kingdom, and the princess or the chosen one or something like ends up walking into the sea to save her kingdom, and she's that person. That's pretty much all I really know about it. But Mindy McGinnis is awesome, so I'm really excited to get to it, and I'll probably be starting it today. So there you go, the 2 books that I read this week. Finishing up the tome topple and all those things. Tell me what you read this week. Have you read either of these books or this book? Tell me your thoughts. I really want to hear them. Thank you so much for watching. I love your faces, and I will see you later.